Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all my students of class 9. My name is Miss Noreen and I will teach you biology online. As you know students, we all are suffering from COVID-19 virus. So kindly please stay home and save your life. Today I will teach you biology of class 9. As you know students, we already discussed 4 chapters of biology book. First of all, we already explained you there are 4 chapters. Number 1, introduction to biology. Number 2, solving a biological problem. Number 3, biodiversity. And number 4, cell and tissues. Today I will continue chapter number 4. It is cell and tissues. We already discussed 3 topics of this chapters. Now we start 4th topic of this chapter, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. First of all, we define their terms, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Then we differentiate between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. What are prokaryotes? Prokaryotes words is a composed of 2 words. Pro means before and karyon means nucleus. It means prokaryotes are those organisms whose cells do not have membrane bounded nucleus. वो organisms जिनके सेल के अंदर मेम्ब्रेन बाउंडेड न्यूक्लियस एब्सेंट होता है उनको प्रोकैरियोट्स कहते हैं. ओके, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय मेम्ब्रेन बाउंडेड न्यूक्लियस? Membrane bounded nucleus means that around the nucleus a membrane is present which is called nuclear membrane. Such a nucleus which possess nuclear membrane are called membrane bounded nucleus. This membrane bounded nucleus are found in organisms are called prokaryotes. The example of prokaryotes are bacteria and cyanobacteria. Look at this picture. It is a structure of bacterial cell. It is an example of prokaryotes because in bacterial cell DNA is present and DNA is a part of nucleus. Okay, bacteria and cyanobacteria is also example of prokaryotes. Now we define next term, that is eukaryotes. The word eukaryotes is composed of 2 words. Eu means well or truly defined and karyon means nucleus. Eukaryotes are those organisms whose cells have a membrane bounded nucleus. We already discussed here what do you mean by membrane bounded nucleus. Such a nucleus around which nuclear membrane is present is called membrane bounded nucleus, and those organisms whose possess this membrane bounded nucleus are called eukaryotes. So students, those organisms which possess membrane bounded nucleus are called eukaryotes, and the example of eukaryotes are animals and plants. In plants and animals, nucleus is present and around which nuclear membrane is also present. That's why they are called membrane bounded nucleus, and these organisms are called eukaryotes. Now I give you some example of eukaryotes. The first example of eukaryote is animal cell. It is a picture of animal cell. If you observe this picture, inside a animal cell a nucleus is present. Inside the animal cell, this spherical shaped body is present. It is called nucleus. Around this nucleus, nuclear membrane is visible. Such a nucleus around which nuclear membrane is visible is called membrane bounded nucleus, and this membrane bounded nucleus is found in animal cell. That's why animal cell is an example of eukaryotic cell. Now, we study another example of eukaryotes, that is plant cell. If you observe this picture, in this picture, nucleus is visible aside of cell membrane. This is nucleus. Okay, this is spherical shaped body, oval shaped body. This oval shaped body is called nucleus. Around this nucleus a membrane is found. This membrane is called nuclear membrane. Such a nucleus around which nuclear membrane is visible, such a cell is called eukaryotic cell, and this organism is called eukaryotes. So, plant cell is also an example of eukaryotes because they possess membrane bounded nucleus. That's why they are called eukaryotes. So students, in this way we study two examples of eukaryotes. Number 1 animal cell and number 2 plant cell. Okay. Now we study some differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. First of all, write name of cellular structure, then write down the characteristics of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. We explain you one by one, and first of all we start differentiate from example. If we study prokaryotic cell, the example of prokaryotic cell, bacteria and cyanobacteria, we already show diagram of bacteria. Bacteria is an example of prokaryotic cell. Bacterial cell is also prokaryotic cell. And what are cyanobacteria? Blue-green algae found in fresh water and marine water is called cyanobacteria. This bacteria and cyanobacteria is an example of prokaryotic cell. On the other hand, eukaryotic cell. What is the difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell? The example of eukaryotic cell is animal and plants. Why animal and plants are example of eukaryotic cell? Because animal and plant cell possess membrane bounded nucleus. That's why it is example of eukaryotic cell. Okay. Now we study nucleus. If we study of nucleus of prokaryotic cell, around the inside the prokaryotic cell, membrane bounded nucleus is absent. On the other hand, if we study eukaryotic cell, inside a eukaryotic cell, membrane bounded nucleus is also visible and found. Okay. We already show diagram of animal and plant cell. Inside the animal and plant cell, membrane bounded nucleus is present. That's why they are example of eukaryote. The eukaryotic cells are those which have membrane bounded nucleus. Now, third character is number of chromosome. Inside the cell, prokaryotic cell, 1 but not 2 chromosomes are present. But not 2 means they are fine and thread-like structure. Chromosome at its earlier stages are found in the form of fine and thread-like structure. That's why they are called not true chromosomes. On the other hand, if we study eukaryotic cells have more than one copies of chromosome. Now, number of cells and other characteristics. If we study prokaryotic prokaryotes are unicellular organism. We already discussed term of unicellular. Unicellular means those organisms whose body made up of only one cell, like bacteria, like amoeba, paramecium. It is example of unicellular, and these all are called prokaryotic cell. All the unicellular organisms are called prokaryotic cell. On the other hand, if we study eukaryotes are unicellular and multicellular organism. In prokaryotic cell only unicellular. Eukaryotics are both unicellular as well as multicellular. We already discussed term of unicellular. Now we discuss term of multicellular. Multi means many and cellular means cell. Those organisms whose body made up of many cells are called multicellular organism, and the example of multicellular organisms is animals and plants. Now we study another characteristics, that is true membrane bounded organelles. What do you mean by true membrane bounded organelles? True membrane bounded organelle means mitochondria, plastids, chloroplasts. These are called membrane bounded organelles, and nucleus. These are called membrane bounded organelles. These organelles are found inside the cell, and membrane is also found around it. That's why they are called membrane bounded organelles. These membrane bounded organelles are totally absent in prokaryotic cell, and they are also found in eukaryotic cell. This membrane bounded organelles is also found in eukaryotic cell. Now, next structure we study, that is lysosomes and perioxymos. First of all, we study what is lysosomes. What are lysosomes? Lysosomes are special structure that is found in animal cells. What is the function of lysosome? Lysosomes contain enzymes which help digest cellular macromolecules. It is the main function of lysosome. It is also found in animal cell. Okay. And perioxymos is also a special structure that is found in animal cell. Okay. It is totally absent. This structure is totally absent in prokaryotic cell, but is also found in eukaryotic cell. This is the main difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Lysosomes and peroxisomes are absent in prokaryotes, and it is also found in eukaryotic cell. Microtubules. Microtubules means it is totally absent in prokaryotic cell, but it is also found in eukaryotes or eukaryotic cell. Okay. Now, next structure, that is endoplasmic reticulum. You know endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is main organelles which is found inside the cell. This endoplasmic reticulum is totally absent in prokaryotic cell, but is also found in eukaryotes and eukaryotic cell. Next structure is mitochondria. This mitochondria is also membrane bounded organelle, and this membrane bounded organelle is absent in prokaryotes, but it is totally present in eukaryotic cell. We already showed diagram of animal and plant cell, and this animals and plant cell mitochondria is also present. That's why they are called eukaryotes. So mitochondria is also found in eukaryotic cell. Next structure is ribosomes. Ribosomes, what are ribosomes? First of all, discuss here. Ribosomes are granular structure which is found on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम की सरफेस पे स्पेशल स्ट्रक्चर मौजूद होता है ग्रेन्स की फॉर्म में, डेट इज कॉल्ड राइबोसोम्स. एंड इन प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल देयर साइज इज 70 and in eukaryotic cell they are larger and their size is 80. Next, vesicles. First of all, we discuss here what are vesicles. Vesicles are special structure which is found inside the cell. And what is the function of vesicles? The main function of vesicles, it stores food material. Okay. These vesicles are also present in prokaryotic cell, but it is totally absent. This vesicle is also present in prokaryotic cell and it is also found in eukaryotic cells. So vesicles are a special structure and these vesicles are also found in both prokaryote and eukaryotes. Now next structure is Golgi apparatus. This Golgi apparatus is also an organelle which is found inside the cell. This Golgi apparatus is also absent in prokaryote and it is also found in eukaryotes. Next, chloroplast. You know, students, what are chloroplast? Chloroplast are special organelle that is found inside the plants. This chloroplast.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all my students of class 9. My name is Miss Noreen and I will teach you biology online. As you know that we will start chapter number 4 in previous lecture and I also explained topic number 1, that is microscope and its type. Now we turn page number 56 in which chapter number 4 is mentioned. I will start second topic of this chapter, that is history of the development of cell theory. This history starts from 1665. In this century, an English scientist named Robert Hooke, he discovered a honeycomb-like structure in a slice of a plant organs under a compound microscope. Robert Hooke also discovered a honeycomb-like structure in a plant tissues under a compound microscope. When he observed this structure under a compound microscope, he saw a cell wall around on this structure and he named this structure called cell. This honeycomb-like structure, he named this structure is called cell. And this structure, cell, is compared to compartment like a rooms. This cell is like a room or compartment when he saw under a microscope. In this way, Robert Hooke first time discovered cell in plant tissues under a compound microscope. Next year 1670, an other scientist named Anton van Leeuwenhoek. It is also biologist. He observed first living organism under a microscope. This living organism he collect from the pond water and he placed under a microscope. When he studied this organism, he saw it is a unicellular organism. It means its body is made up of only one cell. In this way, Anton van Leeuwenhoek first living organism was observed under a microscope. Next year, 1683, an other scientist, Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he published a letter to the Royal Society. And in this letter, he drew a diagram of the first protozoa which has been seen under a microscope. ये जो फर्स्ट लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म था जो एंटन लीवेनहुक ने माइक्रोस्कोप के अंदर ऑब्जर्व किया, इसकी डायग्राम जो है वो अपने लेटर के अंदर पब्लिश की थी, इन्होंने ड्रॉ की थी. और ये लेटर किसको लिखा था? रॉयल सोसाइटी को लिखा था. इन दिस वे ही वॉज डिस्कवर्ड फर्स्ट प्रोटोजोआ एंड बैक्टीरिया अंडर अ माइक्रोस्कोप. Next, 1833, an other scientist named Robert Brown. Robert Brown, he also discovered nucleus in plant cell. Robert Brown was a botanist and he also discovered nucleus in plant cell. What is nucleus? Nucleus is a spherical shaped body which is present in the center of the cell and sometime on the side of cell wall. This spherical shaped body is called nucleus. This nucleus first time was observed by Robert Brown in plant cell. Next year, 1839, the next scientist the name he named was Theodor Schwann. It was a German botanist. He studied not only plant but animal tissues. When he studied plant or animal tissues, he observed that this tissues is composed of one or more cells. This debate is continue and he published a theory on the cell, and this theory's name was cell theory. There are some postulates of this theory which is present by Theodor Schwann. The first postulate of the cell theory is cells are organisms and all organisms are composed of one or more cells. As you know, students, organisms are of two types. Number one, unicellular, and number two, multicellular. In this point, he explained those organisms whose body is made up of one cell is called unicellular organism, and those organisms whose body is made up of more than one cell is called multicellular organism. So first postulate of cell theory, he also explained all organisms made up of one or more than one cells. This concept he also described in first postulates of cell theory. Second postulate of cell theory is the cell is the basic structure unit for all living organisms. As you know, students, all living organisms which exist on the earth, either plants, animals, human beings, and so many microscopic organisms, the basic structure of all living organisms is made up of cell. The basic unit of all living organism is cell. Okay. Next, 1840, an other scientist named Albrecht von Eulicher. He discovered sperms and eggs in cells. What are sperms and eggs? Sperm and eggs are reproductive cells which are found in the body of male and female. Sperms are found in male reproductive system and eggs are found in female reproductive system. And by the fusion of these sperm and eggs, a zygote is developed, and this zygote is further developed to form the whole individual or whole organism. So students, in 1840, Albrecht von Eulicher discovered sperm and eggs in cells. Next, 1845. In 1845, the next scientist he named Carl Heinrich Braun. He reworked on the cell theory and he calling cell is the basic unit of life. So students, we already discussed about it. All living organisms which exist on the earth, their body structure is made up of cell. So cell is the basic unit of all living organism. Cell is the basic unit of all life. For example, plants, animals and human beings, their body is made up of cells. Next, in 1855, an other scientist named Rudolf Virchow. He was a physiologist, physician and pathologist. What is the object of Rudolf Virchow? He translate third point of cell theory. He also described third point of cell theory, that is, all cells develops only from pre-existing cells. First of all, we discuss here, what do you mean by pre-existing cells? Pre-existing cells means older cells. In our body, older cells are found, and these older cells are called pre-existing cells. These older cells divide and form new cells. That's why organisms grow. So, the concept that all cells develop from pre-existing cells. New cells are formed by the division of older cells. And these older cells are called pre-existing cells. जो new cells हमारी body में form होते हैं वो कैसे बनते हैं? These cells are developed by the division of pre-existing cells or older cells. Now, next, in 1862, another scientist named Louis Pasteur, he was a French biologist and microbiologist. He performed an experiment to prove the idea which is given by Rudolf Virchow. Rudolf Virchow explained that all cells develop only from pre-existing cells. This idea is proved by experiment by Louis Pasteur. Okay students, in this way, second topic of chapter number 4, cell and tissues, is completed. And we start third topic of this chapter, that is called cell theory. It is most important topic. Now, there are two scientists. The first name is Sheridan. Who is Sheridan? Sheridan was a botanist and second scientist named Schwann. Who was Schwann? Schwann was a German zoologist. First of all, we discuss here what are botanist and zoologist. Botanists are those person who studied plants. Those person who studied plant are called botanist. And what are zoologists? Those persons who study animals are called zoologists. I hope students you understand that Shaliton was a botanist because he studied plant, and Schwann was a German zoologist and he studied animals. By the combining effort of these two scientists, he proposed a theory in 1839, which is called cell theory. In 1855, another scientist named Rudolf Virchow, he was a physician. He also described third point of cell theory, that is, all living organisms arise from pre-existing cells. He also contributed with these two scientists and given postulates of cell theory. Now, we discuss postulates of cell theory. First postulate of cell theory is all living organisms are made up of one or more cells. We already discussed in previous lecture, organisms are two types, unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular organisms are those whose body are made up of one cell, and multicellular organisms are those whose body are made up of more than one cells. This concept is also explained in first postulates of cell theory, that is, all living organisms are made up of one or more cells. अल्लाह ताला ने इस दुनिया में जितने भी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म एग्जिस्ट किए उनकी बॉडी या तो वन सेल से मिलकर बनी है या उनकी बॉडी में एक से ज़्यादा सेल मौजूद होते हैं. Next, second postulates of cell theory is cell is the fundamental unit of structure and function in all living organisms. We also explain second postulate of cell theory. It means that all living organisms, either plants, animals, human beings, their basic structure is made up of cell. Their basic structure is made up of cell. Some organism made up of one cell and some organism made up of more than one cell. So basic जो structure है किसी भी living organism का वो किससे मिलके बना है? Cell से मिलके बना है. Body में क्या मौजूद है? Cell मौजूद है. And this cell perform different function in the body of living organism. For example, mitochondria, it is a part of cell and he perform the function of respiration. And another part of cell is called cell wall. It also protects the cell from environmental hazards. Okay. Now, we also explain third point, that is explained by Rudolf Virchow. The new cell is derived from pre-existing cells dividing into two by cell division. It means that new cells is formed by the division of older cells, and these older cells are called pre-existing cells. These older cells divide and form two new cells by a process which is called cell division. This process is known as cell division, in which cell divide and form new cells. This process is called cell division. What do you mean by pre-existing cell? Older cells are called pre-existing cells, and these older cells divide and form new cells in the body of living organism By the help of these new cells, the organism can grow. Next postulates of cell theory, it is the last postulate of cell theory. It is cell contain the hereditary material which is passed from generation to generation. First of all, we discuss here what do you mean by hereditary material. Hereditary material means DNA. In the body of every organism, DNA is present. This DNA is the part of chromosome. Chromosome is made up of two substances, that is protein and DNA. All the information of the body of living organism is present in the form of DNA in the body. And this DNA is passed from generation to generation. One generation to another generation, that's why the characteristic transfer from parents to offspring by the help of this DNA. Okay, students, I hope you understand cell theory. There are basic 4 postulates of cell theory. We also explain this postulate in third lecture of cell and tissues, chapter number 4. Cell theory is completed. Now, we start another topic of this chapter, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. First of all, we discuss here what do you mean by prokaryotes. There are different types of cells present in the body of organisms. First type is called prokaryotes and second type is called eukaryotes. First of all, we discuss here eukaryotes. Organisms whose cells have a membrane-bound nucleus are called eukaryotes.